Counterfeit Humans. This awesome story is written by IamHowardMoxley. So grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy the show. Some of the people that walk among us are counterfeit humans. They were not born in wombs. They require half of the amount of air, food, water, and sleep to go twice as far and twice as fast as you do. Virtually no American nor European public physician or mortician could find a physical clue that would suggest that these were not just humans, at least from their psychology. All they would see is the body of an Olympian athlete without ever training, coupled with a brain that places the mimic at the top of whatever system it chooses to be a part of. The mimics are not machines, aliens, or demons in the flesh. They are their own genus, a life that has existed on Earth much longer than humanity has. Mimics have also been noted in paleontology. The mimic has been imitating existing animals on Earth for over 500 million years. Some scientists even believe that as much as a quarter of all fossils are those of mimics. These fossils are nearly identical to regular dinosaurs, plants, and sea life, except that mimics' bones always contain the minute traces of a grouped organism that lives within the host's bones. Without specialized inspection, these organisms appear to be simple organic impurities. Our lab has uncovered the presence of these xenocoelomorpha in the bones of even living structures. We believe that a group of 1,000 individual organisms, all living without a proper digestive tract, exist in every mimic, dictating every action. These organisms congregate anywhere. We have seen them exist on toe bones, pelvi, and skulls. There are only 3 fossils, 1 mummified remain and 1 preserved living embryo in the scientific world's profession that suggests that such a creature exists. The group of xenocoelomorpha work together to use the host to develop an 8-gram elongated egg, the appearance of a dull white glycerin pill. The body of the egg is resilient to friction, compression, heat, and stress, but halts all development in the presence of pure ethanol. We have learned that the xenocoelomorpha use the host to produce an egg within an exiting canal of the body. The mimic puts the egg in a still body of water, like a pool or bathtub. The egg swells hundreds of times its size over the course of 3 days to create a fully formed human inside the external embryonic sac. The mimic usually bears little to no physical resemblance to the parent. The mimics part ways after the hatchling breaks free. We believe it is an evolutionary trait to prevent more than one mimic at risk of being captured or killed at any one time. I have been lucky to study mimics in a closed environment. My lab has collected mimics of humans, cats and dogs, crows and octopuses, a tree frog, a horse and an elephant. Each one of them, even the frog, expels the exact same 8-gram egg into a body of water with uncanny good timing. The parent guards it almost entirely subconsciously. After 3 days, the specimens that it produces usually become the top in their respective fields, the most intelligent crows, the fastest roaches. Interesting humans. The test for the presence of xenocoelomorpha is not common, nor it is practical at this point in time. The only sure way to identify a mimic is to examine the bones after death. Our methods of living identification have an 85% success rate upon post-mortem examination. Our methods have given us cause to imprison 4 suspected counterfeit humans. We call the first prisoner 1. He is a financial portfolio manager who was making $78 million a year before his capture. 2. A 6'6" raven-haired beauty who has broken the ankles and elbows of 3 of our security staff, operates the largest brothel in Bucharest. The third is the owner of the 3rd largest home security firms in America, and one of the most prolific serial killers of all time, that came after our outbound team cleaned up any traces of our visit to number 3's home, where they found, per their reports, another gate to hell. The last is an artist and housewife who had not done anything of historic note with her 43 years on Earth. We worried she might be in the 15% error margin. Not all mimics were cooperative. 1 demands a lawyer upon seeing any one of us and says nothing else. 2 turns her back on us whenever we walk by. She refuses to speak to us, but we hear her speak to the others frequently. She reveals nothing that would give away any clues as to their own condition of being a mimic. The housewife flatly refused to believe she could be anything but human and refused to look or listen to a single test result. The killer was the only one who listened. I was the one to break the news to him. I could gauge how fast the realization was sinking into his mind by how slowly his face dropped, eyes widening. He wept in joy as he fell to his knees, thanking me for giving him the answer for why he was different. We are on orders to keep the mimics here indefinitely. They spend 24 hours a day in isolation, naked, at a constant ambient temperature of 73°F. Their cells are a single waterproofed padded light gray cube with an in-wall showering unit right over the single drain, where all contents are scanned thoroughly. Sensor bidet to prevent suicides by drowning. Any surface in the cell is comfortable enough to sleep on per private prison specifications, so they are not given beds, blankets, or pillows. They are given one single 90-watt natural sunlight bulb and a restricted internet access touchscreen terminal that could offer anything entertainment-wise and nothing else. They are given 2 meals a day with a harsh foaming tablet used in place of a toothbrush. We do all of this in order to allow a full, clear view to the mimic at all times to ensure we see everything they do, all for the fateful moment where they produce an egg. We lost a previous handful to insanity and one to suicide before we were told to give the people a means of escape. We devised this lie. We told them that we only were interested in studying the eggs and the larvae, not them. And if they could produce an egg for us to study, they would be free without pursuit. In return for their silence, they would then be transferred to another wing of the lab. They would never see the outside world again. Number 2 already had an egg that had gone through her ear. She had hidden her hair as she pretended to sleep one night. She gave her egg to us immediately. She was transferred and escorted to the dressing room. We caught footage of number 1 hacking and spitting. He tried to hide the egg, but his hiding place was rather unoriginal. If you were real doctors, you would know that's just dehydrated phlegm, that's all. We were sure it was an egg. He was transferred, but seemed pleased enough to be out of the cell. He was taken to the private shower. We collected an egg from the housewife that she passed through her excrement and that was found by staff member wearing a rubber glove up to the armpit. She did not believe us, but didn't resist a transfer to the personal items collection booth. That left only the killer. He was our only mimic left for 2 weeks. He spent every second pushing in some way or another trying to produce an egg. Just a few days ago, he began sobbing for 2 hours, then screaming, and then stopped. The killer cried out in joy and held up the egg that was pushed through his tear duct. His cries of relief and happiness came out of him like a waterfall. You would think that he was crowned emperor of the world by how he sounded. He tried to kiss every member of the staff on his way out. He vowed never to kill again, knowing that it really wasn't his will that compelled him to do it. It was his nature as a mimic. I personally believed him, in that only eyes that have been enlightened glimmer like his does. He danced his way to the waiting room. Each of those rooms appear to be what they are supposed to be. The vents to hide the high-volume suction needed to vacuum the room are hidden well. After about 20 agonizing, squirming seconds on average before they pass out forever, their bodies industrially pulverized and burned. Our employers wanted a covert extermination process. Now they want more. Our methods for wide-scale detection continue to grow alongside a dozen other agencies around the globe who are just as committed to hunting mimics down as well. Within the next year, we will have the ability to determine mimics within a 97% accuracy within a radius of 15 miles. We were paid triple overtime and weekly bonuses to make detection based on electromagnetic pulses. I took that blood money and bought a huge estate and comfortable bed upstate for my wife and children. I was paid very well to expand this technology to rid the world of what I thought was an ancient curse among us, not knowing what they truly were, their importance or their place on this world. These thoughts didn't concern me. Wealth and success did. This heaven continued until one Saturday morning, when the last screwdriver of past evening didn't sit well and came burping up while I was brushing my teeth. An egg landed in a nest of vomit and foam at the bottom of my bathroom sink. Hey family, a very big thank you to IamHowardMoxley for allowing me to narrate such an awesome tale. Be sure to check out their Creepypasta fandom profile for more of their awesome works. If you would like to support us and make a donation, I'd be very much appreciative. I do have PayPal and a Buy Me a Coffee account. Be sure to also check out our merch store. There are plenty of items and designs to choose from. If you enjoyed this video, then why not check out the next one? Here, on the right-hand side. You can also follow us. All my socials and all my other links are contained within the Linktree link below. Take care, everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful and peaceful night. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.